When we try running the test again, it fails. What the heck? If we did a little debugging, we'd see that it fails the second time because the username and email in the test are already taken. So instead of success, we see a validation error. This is a very important detail about testing. Before running any test, we need to make sure the database is in a predictable state. Our test will pass unless there happens to already be a user 5 in the database. To fix this, let's empty the user table before running the test. Start by grabbing the container object, which is stored statically on the parent test class. Now grab the Doctrine Entity Manager by getting the Doctrine service and calling getManager. If you're not comfortable with what I just did, don't worry. I'll demystify this in a moment. Once we have the Entity Manager, we can get the user repository. Build a query from the repository that deletes all of the users. Rerun the test again to see that everything passes. Now this is a good-looking test. Notice that we're not testing for every tiny detail. That would be a ton of work, and functional tests aren't meant to replace us as developers from making sure things work when we build them. Instead, we just want to see that the form can be submitted successfully and unsuccessfully. The important thing is that if we break something major later, our test will let us know. When we run our tests, it's emptying the same user table we're using for development. That's kind of annoying. Instead, let's use two different databases, one for development and one that's used only by the tests. Open up the main config.yaml file and find the Doctrine database configuration. Copy and paste it into the config_test.yaml file. But remove everything except for the DB name option. Now add an _test to the end of it. This little trick takes advantage of how Symfony environments work. The test environment uses all of the normal Doctrine configuration, except that it overrides this one option. Don't forget to set up the new database by running Doctrine database create. Pass an extra --env equals test option so that the command runs in the test environment. And now use the same idea to insert the schema. You can now rerun the test knowing that our main database isn't being affected. As cool as this is, in reality, we use a tool called Behat instead of Symfony's built-in functional testing tools. And you're in luck, because everything you just learned translates to Behat. Check out our tutorial on this to take your functional testing into space. Do this, or risk an angry phone call from Darth Vader when the super laser doesn't fire because you added a new espresso machine in the break room.